Yeah. Okay. Welcome back to the Elevate blog. I'm here with Mila today. Mila, where are you in the world?
Oh, right now I am in Estonia. So I teach around Europe, a little bit of USA. I teach English, I teach Ukrainian. So lots of activity here.
Yeah. So you're teaching online at the moment?
Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely. I started teaching online, right, I think at 2015-ish. So when people were panicking about COVID and stop of the school and inability to teach any other way, we saw many old school believers that teaching must be only person to person. We saw them changing their mind and seeing how comfortable it may be if you do the right thing with the right instrument.
Yeah, definitely. So tell me about your lessons and your students. What kind of people are you teaching?
Well, mostly I teach adults. Occasionally, I have teenagers who are prepping for some life skills. I do not teach exams. I teach adults who have goals in life for them, for which of them they need English. So it's more often English for getting a new job, getting a new team, reorient some orientation when you come to a new country, when you are adapting to everything in the new environment. We were participating in such things like teaching the driving exam stuff because the person doesn't want to be nervous about not understanding the rule, making the mistake on the exam because of language, not because of their knowledge. I believe that's a good example of why you need
Mm,
language for reaching some goal. Yeah, she passed from the first time. It was very happy for me.
yeah. That's great. Yeah, it's amazing about driving. I'm living in Japan, and I hear about taking driving exams. It's not so much about the rules of the road, which are kind of similar, everywhere in the world, but the culture of taking
Yeah,
the
yeah.
test is very specific. So that's really interesting.
I
Uh,
agree. I agree. And I would not even invent such a service myself. It grew out of a need. Someone had the need, and I adapted to it. I'm very grateful that now I know that I can do that.
yeah,
Now I
yeah,
have such opportunity.
yeah. I never would have thought of that one. English for driving tests and driving lessons.
Yes.
That's great. Okay, so what's your favorite thing to teach? What do you like um, doing with your students?
I mostly like dogma approach. So you have some structure that you supply by a certain book maybe, but mostly you play around that structure with a lot of stuff that people come and bring you every day. Today someone have come and said, I have a quarrel with my boss. Yeah, so you are not going to study the unit about clothes. You would fish something different out of that same book, maybe. You would listen to a person, suggest some ideas, and at the same moment, you would do that in such a language that they will notice that this is the language that may help them to express their ideas better and maybe renegotiating with that sad boss in a couple of weeks. That is really what inspires me so much because you see the real impact, you see like your influence, and at the same moment you see how it is not only things that you bring, it's a partnership, and you see how that 1 + 1 = 3, how that grows, how you
Mhm.
may make change, and your life changes as well because you get nourished by all of these experiences.
Yeah, definitely. So you're not a sort of book focused, sort of textbook, do it in the right order kind of teacher.
Well, I believe in textbooks from that point of view that these are colleagues who create things from their huge methodological expertise. It would be a bit foolish maybe for me to ignore all this effort and labor. So I do work with that, but if it's a choice between the mood and the real stuff that is hanging and stressing the student and they can't concentrate on the book anyway, yes, I will go to that. I will address that issue. And yes,
Mhm.
maybe that day the homework will be not a book thing, but something like, please watch this video. I think it may be helpful. Something like
Mm,
so. Yeah,
mm,
at the same moment, I would never be able to be the scientist who would be so concerned only about methodological things and very little details, because every time I read the book, I'm seeing those and I think I would never. So, yeah, I appreciate learning from them, but
mhm.
I would not be able to do the same.
Yeah, 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 me too. I definitely, yeah, appreciate the people who can see the structure of the language and set it out clearly. Yeah, for sure. Okay, tell me about some memorable moments from your students. Is there anything that sticks out that uh, you remember?
Well, driving exam is one of them, but another one was very, very impactful, I believe. It was 2022. It was full-scale invasion into Ukraine, and I'm from Ukraine originally. And I started morning group for donation for free, and we were I was allowing people to feel any structure because life suddenly started being so chaotic, so unpredictable that we all could not even focus on anything. Like, should we go to work? Should we not? What's going on? We were discussing, yeah, some news as well, but we were discussing some uplifting stories, some I don't know, diet requirements for you in terms of stress because you need to be strong to
Mm,
answer the challenges. Some ideas on what can we do if something happens. Some basic life stuff like if we see a fire, what do we do? What do we
mm,
do if we see a child who is lost and doesn't know, like is only emotional? Something that actually is very much needed in your usual everyday life too. All these situations may happen with you, but at that moment it looked like everything can happen at you like at once. So we were finding some solace in getting prepared. And yeah, some uplifting stories, some structure, some let's talk about what kind of recipe you cooked today. What are you planning to cook? Hey guys, I found that idea. Let's discuss. Can we maybe do that for ourselves? It's a meditation or a psychological practice, like written practice when you write in the diary, you are answering some certain questions and you feel better. So I
mm,
probably ran this group for 3 or 4 months since the very beginning. And I was finding the structure in it. I was finding the comfort in the fact that I can help someone. And
mhm,
people were coming, people were appreciating that, yes, we could a little bit distract, relax, and be ourselves like the people who we were before, with the people who we were before we were impacted. And that really rests in my memory very vividly. Um,
mm,
some other stuff was less dramatic. When you help someone to change the profession, it feels very, very impactful. And it's
Mhm.
not because of their hard skills, of course. It's all on them. But
Yeah.
the fact that you help them to find this negotiation skill in English, and you help them to see their own achievements in their career, that
Mhm.
is just, I don't know, a source of endless inspiration for me. Because
Mm.
one time it was an engineer who were a real strengths engineer, like in physical life, but she became a QA tester. It's totally different, and she got better job, better conditions, better everything, and she did not have it all before. And I was
Mhm.
impressed, and I am always impressed working with strong people, different people, neurodivergent people, ADHD people. I am the same. I'm also like, if I could be licensed autistic, I would be, because I do have official evaluation about that.
Mhm.
And
Mhm.
the life in these conditions, it teaches you some strategies, how you learn, how you rest, how you feel better when something happens, when you feel socially insecure. And all
Mhm.
of that I love just spread, and it comes back to me with new ideas, new challenges, because people come and say, I can't do that. And I look at their work and I say, have you ever considered that you may be dyslexic?
Mm.
No, couple months later, they are officially. And I'm like,
Good.
oh, that's why. That's why. It was not you, and you were not bad, lazy, or anything. Like, the ability to shift this perspective is priceless, I believe.
Yeah, definitely, definitely. Now, Mela, my last question is always, why do you love being a teacher? But I think you've totally answered that question already. I can see it.
Okay, another comforting thing for me would be that,
Mm.
again, um, I am chronically ill person, and teaching gives me an opportunity to work remotely, work my hours, not go to office, not be overwhelmed by certain office conditions. That counts as well. Not only
Yes.
your inspiration, but your
Mm.
future comforts.
Yeah,
That's
definitely.
also
Yeah.
important. And I believe
Yes.
it's important for people like me who may be disabled to see that you can work, you can have this self realization, you can do things even if you are restricted. Sometimes people are just a little scared to change the status quo, but I'm always about trying, if not change it, maybe rattle it a little bit and see what
Mm.
happens.
Mm. Yeah,
So I'm always
exactly.
supportive on this.
Definitely. Great. Thank you, Mila. It's really interesting to talk to you.
Thank you very much for having me. I hope we
Yeah.
meet soon on Summit.
Yes, of course. And Mila will be talking about this uh, English under stressful and chaotic circumstances. I
Yes,
hope you'll be able to attend the summit and watch that. Will be really interesting to
I'm
see.
hoping to speak as well. So I I hope we all bring something extremely valuable to people, because again, our world is not super comfortable. We have this stressful news everywhere around the world. So I think it's a good opportunity for all of us to bring, to recharge, and to sell that recharge to others.
Mm, yeah, for sure. Great. Thank you very much, Mila.
Thank you very much too. Bye bye.
Bye.